3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is us again with a special guest who we'll announce in just a second. I'm Victor Martin,
Still Nick.
I'm Chase.
and a new contender. Who is it?
And my name is Matt. Wacky Matt.
It's Matt.
Yep, nice to be here, guys. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Love the
Glad to
cast.
have you.
Glad to be on. Want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just laid back, all around chill dude. I'm not involved in the film industry anyway, but I am a huge enthusiast. But yeah, I mean, really not much to know except for that's about it. I'm chill.
Right on.
We dig your kind. We wish they come around a lot more.
Yeah. No, I just call the dude's way of being. The dude abides.
Yep.
I feel it.
So you recommended 2 films for us to watch, and what are those? What were those 2 films?
So yeah, I chose Crank and Atomic Blonde mostly because I thought the juxtapose of kind of their style would go really well together. They're both stylish in their own right, and they both attack the genre of action in a pretty fantastically different way.
My kind of viewing.
Big agree. Oh yeah, and this is just Nick's. This is just an orgasm for Nick.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm the action guy. Action's been with me.
Nick McCann, the action man.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Oh,
right.
It is.
Don't you forget it.
It's true because it rhymes.
Exactly.
That's how you know it's true.
What are we gonna talk about first?
Let's flip a coin.
I
Every time I suggest this, I don't have a coin.
got one.
All right.
Heads is crank.
Heads is Crank. Hey, look at that.
That was a bad toss. I dropped the coin. Hold on, I got it. I found it. Take 2. Tails.
All right,
All
so
right.
it's Atomic Blonde first.
Atomic
Wicked.
Blonde.
The one's very, very fresh in my mind. I literally just finished it.
Well, let's get to it then. Atomic Blonde. The date, November 1989. The place, Berlin, Germany. With the Berlin Wall on the brink of collapse, MI6 agent Lorraine Broughton is tasked with recovering a missing list of agents while investigating a recently murdered agent tied to it. With the KGB and other parties on the loose after this list, Broughton must navigate the shady German streets with the help of some locals that run iffy on allegiance.
Right.
Cool.
It's not as good as what you said. You could say it.
No.
No, yours is-
All right. Well,
I'm giving it up to you. For
all right.
everyone watching, I just totally blew the plot synopses on inferior material because Matt is a literary genius.
I played a lot of D&D, so it kind of gives me just the.
Hey, let's
Storytellers.
go.
All right, so
Storyteller.
mine was slide on your aviators, pop in your cassette tapes, and slap that side pony on as Atomic Blonde teleports you back to November of 1989. With civil unrest in Berlin and the winds of political change blowing hard in the Soviet Empire, an MI6 agent is killed while in possession of a list of all active agents within Berlin, Soviets and Westerners alike. Now it's up to Lorraine Broughton, one of Britain's finest field agents, to secure the intel before it slips into the wrong hands. And boy howdy, does this movie try a lot of things. It tries a lot. It's pretty good, but it has some peaks and valleys, right?
That's
Yeah,
what I was
definitely.
gonna say. It has some good, but other parts I was kind of left disappointed in all honesty.
Right. So what do you guys want to talk about first? We want to talk about the plot?
All over the place.
Yeah.
I could. It's so simple, but it goes in a needless amount of directions.
That's kind of my biggest problem with it. I was pretty bored for the first hour, to be honest. I was pretty uninterested with the story.
When
Right,
asses weren't being kicked, that's when I was bored.
Right. That's the thing is where the plot fails, the action sequences really excel. And
Absolutely.
I think my first issue with the plot is it's an action movie, but it's already right from the get-go a kind of a slightly canned plot, right? We got an agent's got to go in, get the material, get it out safe, and then you throw in the obligatory kind of escort scene, right, where
Mhm.
you've got the helpless individual who you've just got to keep alive,
Mhm.
and I think what really kind of upsets me about it is that all the acting is actually really like it's
Really
pretty
good.
good,
It
right? Like
is.
all
Yeah.
the dialogue, though kind of like wooden and shallow at times, it also is
bit.
like acted out really well. Like they acted the shit out of those kind of poor line direction.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the cast is very first rate in this movie, spearheaded by the always amazing and action-rific Charlize Theron.
Second time in
Yeah,
2
it was
weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like where Charlize Theron is going as far as making the turn to action movies. Ever since Mad Max 4, we've finally got we have another very dedicated action movie
Yeah,
actress.
you see, like her acting in this is actually it's top to bottom really well done. Like
She's
her
fully committed to
the
this.
Oh yeah.
way from the way that
Oh, yeah.
she aggressively holds her firearm, you see there's actually a lot of one of the things I actually mentally noted was um she was very conscious of like trigger safety throughout all of the
Yeah.
scenes. Like you see her finger away from the trigger and
Mhm.
like ready whenever she's not ready to go fucking ass kick,
Yeah.
and then then she's on it when she's ready to go, and those little details really bring a lot of the action sequences to life, and it's good
Yeah.
to see that she's the one in those sequences. It's not like a stunt double or
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
noticing
some
that
other.
too. I mean, obviously, when she's getting fucking thrown around and stuff, it's probably a stunt double.
Yeah,
But for the
Sure.
most part, like she's doing majority of her own stunts, from what it
Well,
seems.
Leg work.
yeah,
Total
and
leg work.
yeah,
Mhm.
one of the things, and I kind of I want to touch on that a bit later about the camera work, because it's pretty phenomenal in uh certain scenes, particularly the fight scene on the stairwell,
Oh yeah.
Oh
um,
man.
where that's
Beautifully done.
just brilliant piece of work. Like, and so that's one where she's clearly actually getting thrown around. Not only that, but the stuntmen doing their like pratfalls on the stairs and stuff.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
We could
it's
chalk that up to David Leitch, the director, who was one of the guys who freaking started the action movie renaissance that was John Wick.
yeah,
And that's also kind of a that's also a bit of a that's a bit of a like not I don't want to say issue, but I guess sort of a flaw in marketing, because I remember it very clearly when this movie came out. It was marketed as basically Lady John Wick, because you got one of
Yeah.
the directors
right.
and you showed a lot of the action scenes they showed in the trailers very much in the style of John Wick. Minimal
Yeah,
cutting,
totally.
practical stunt work and whatnot. But in reality, this is a very generic spy thriller that that just happens to have really badass action and
You,
fights and so
yeah,
forth.
totally. Like it's it, you can see the betrayal of Percival played by James McAvoy. Like you see that like so early. Like it's just like
Kind of, yeah.
the revelation for it isn't really that shocking. Uh, once you
It,
kind of like
yeah,
get to see his character a little bit, the depth of it,
sure.
I think maybe what like on your first viewing might be a little surprising maybe. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like when he garrots her name, uh, Delphine,
Delphine, yeah.
Oh right.
So
the French
Sophia
spy.
Boutella, man.
Oh man,
Okay, yeah.
they had a steamy scene. That was a steamy scene in this movie. I tell you
Oh
what.
man,
I was a little,
Steamy.
just
I was a little steamy.
wow, full steam ahead.
Yeah, full steam ahead. And like that leads me to another point, which is I thought the lighting in this film
That was
was
kick
really well
ass.
done. Just so
Oh
Yeah.
badass. Like
yes,
The
the
lighting and
contrasts
cinematography
of
was
light and cold.
great.
Yeah.
Mamma mia.
yeah.
And
You know what also banged was the soundtrack.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Fucking
Yeah.
fine ass collection of
Yeah,
songs we got.
totally. And like really puts the mood into being like it really drenches you in 80s, right? Like the
Yeah.
whole film does, from the set design to the people on the streets, and you can really kind of they don't spend a lot of time like showing you the civil unrest that's going on outside. That's mostly done through all like the smash cuts and all that other stuff where you see
Yeah.
kids
I
punks on the street and
I
people
feel like this movie could have been trimmed a lot more because
oh
when
man.
when you mention not much of the civil unrest, it makes me I immediately think why bother having it if you're not going to show it a whole lot. So the
Yeah,
movie
they
does feel a bit too long. I wish it was kept a little
oh
more tighter.
yeah,
It,
there was there was a lot that could have been
I guess yeah, it comes down to it can't fully commit to being either a throwback Cold War espionage spy movie or being a post John Wick full tilt action film.
I think it shows the civil unrest pretty
Pretty well.
pretty well because I mean, not only do you see like those protests that happen, but also you get to see a lot of it through like the TV and through news reports, and I
I
think it
do
does it
like that. They do keep it
right. It's like it's
well in
present.
check.
It's present throughout the whole
Mm,
movie, like kind of
right.
as a backdrop, and
Yeah.
they do a good job of just kind of sitting you in there and kind of feeling like you're in you know uh 1989 Berlin.
Yeah.
That scene
Yeah.
where he beats the living shit out of that breakdancer
Oh
with the
yeah,
Oh
skateboard.
yeah.
Oh, that was brutal. Just like the squib like out of his mouth
Yeah.
Yeah.
was just like there was I remember like in one of the latter fight scenes when it's like spoilers here, but when she's kind of portrayed as Satchel, right?
hmm
um and somebody gets blasted in the face and it just like the blood splatter from his brain just like goes all over the lips of the painting in the
Yeah.
back, and it was just
Yeah.
like
My girlfriend
perfectly placed.
actually, yeah, she was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, like that. There's a lot of like real like all the action is just nuts, but yeah, all
Totally.
the
And
storyline though is just so hackneyed. It really is.
I could yeah, I it's so simple too. Get the list. Find out who killed this guy. How do you screw that up, I wonder?
Yeah, right. I think that like you said, when with them not really knowing exactly wanting to commit to one direction or another, um,
Yeah.
you
It's
can tell that I feel like they thought that they had a good outline for a story and then just spent more time on other things and not really flushing it out. Or
Mhm.
it's hard
yeah,
to know.
it is a shame because you have this very strong cast just barely holding it up, and occasionally those action scenes are like an adrenaline shot of interest
Oh
as far
man,
hmm
your attention.
yeah, particularly like the right after the stairwell scene. Actually, I want to go to that actually for a second because there's a couple bits. One when she gets in the fight uh, with the dudes before the stairwell scene, and they're just like they're slugging it out, and they both get just so fatigued that they're barely able to stand.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like so the interesting part of that scene I thought that was unique was because you saw that action kind of slowly deteriorate that way and everything was getting more and more destroyed, and it was already coming off that the chaos of the package being shot. After she finishes him off and there's just like the carnage laying around, and he pops in with just blood just gushing out of his stomach, it really like puts you as the viewer into that feeling of like fatigue, right?
hmm
hmm
Which I thought is pretty, it's pretty, that's a pretty powerful thing to be able to conjure up from just a fight. So there's nuance to their fight scenes and things that I think are really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just with the layer of just mediocre just laid right over the top of it.
Absolutely. And also my 2 cents in that stairwell fight is if anyone's seen the recent Netflix action movie Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, you could definitely see a very similar style going on. And there's a good reason because Sam Hargrave was directed that movie and he stunt coordinated this movie too.
Oh.
So you can kind of get the feel for the similar setup and construction of the scenes because especially prevalent because both movies have some incredibly long each have an incredibly long one take action sequence,
Mhm.
and it's very well crafted in terms of the stunts and hiding the edit points and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. I just noticed I just kind of I just took note of that too. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Like I just
That's
applaud the
that's when
camera.
yeah, it's basically those were the moments I was most having fun because
Yeah.
the hits, and the set pieces are staged very interestingly, very creative, not creative. I'm losing myself here.
I wrote down that I thought that the action scenes, when they really do jump off, kind of they're intense, impactful, brutal, and efficient.
Exactly.
There's
And,
actually
yeah, okay.
it
Go
actually
ahead.
feels like there's stakes involved too. Like she's really getting her ass kicked. Like
Yeah.
it really feels like there's some real damage going on. Like there's that scene where I think it's after the stairwell. They're in that like apartment, and that guy with the blonde hair, that I think the
I think
KGB agent with the blonde hair.
It was right before the stairwell.
Oh, was that the one you were talking about?
Because
Okay.
because you think that the kind of like the action's gonna stop there. You know, you're like, wow, that was
Right.
a big scene, and then it just leads into that long shot. But yeah, go on.
Just keeps going.
No, I was just something that I really appreciate because it's been a while since I've seen John Wick, so I can't remember all too well. But I feel like just the action here just feels a bit more heavy and brutal.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some real damn weight where I feel like John Wick, and it's been a few years, but a bit more slick and clean.
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
he's some sort of like he's superhumanly good and just like avoids, damage, right? Like he's just,
Right.
where she's getting as much as she's given, well, not quite as much, but she's taking a
Pretty
lot of
close.
punishment.
Yeah, she's getting her absolute ass.
That opening scene with her in the bath, and you just see just the
All the
damage on her
bruises.
body,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
like that. Yeah, it really, like I said, like they do really really good cinematic like sequences of setting the stage for a scene and all that kind of thing, and then yeah, it is a shame that they couldn't have come up with a better story, or
Yeah.
one that really at least like
a stronger script.
yeah, yeah, but it had a lot going for it.
I
Yeah.
will resent my previous statement that this movie is not creative with its action setup. There are actually a couple fun bits of stunt coordinating that I really like. Before, like, I think dozens of minutes before the stairwell fight, she's in the apartment looking for clues or whatever, and then the German police or whatever come in, and they have a little fight. She has this great moment where she takes the fire hose, lassos one guy, yanks him, his
Oh,
legs
yeah.
fly up, and kick another guy. That's really good.
Yeah, then,
then
she
takes
she whips it in that guy's balls. That
Yeah.
was
yeah.
classic too. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was, you're right. Actually, I wanted to take note of that and I didn't. I'm kind of mad at myself because that was a pretty great scene, particularly
Yes.
when she like finishes up that fight and goes out into the road, and the other two come and you can see her just be like, oh well, here, there goes the
Yeah.
neighborhood. Pulls up her little thing so you can't see her face. Just like proceeds to beat the
Yeah.
living shit out of him.
Wicked stuff.
One action scene that I'm getting tired of this type of action in movies, but it's when there's a car chase and they're getting a view from each I mean, it was very one-shotty, and I'm not the biggest fan of one-shots just because I think they're really gimmicky unless they're done absolutely perfectly.
Which
And
that one wasn't.
this one was not. And so there is some scenes where like when oh god, what's his name? The guy who drowns. What was his name?
Oh,
Spyglass.
Spyglass, yeah.
Spyglass. When they're running through the building and they're like shooting people and they're running through doorways and stuff, that's edited well. And the fight scene, the really big fight scene where she's getting her ass beat, that's edited super well.
Yeah.
To the point where it looks like a one take, but still not.
Yeah, you can barely notice where the edits are, and they're done very slick.
Absolutely. But the thing that I don't like is in car scenes, you can now, because you see it so much, you can absolutely tell when they're gonna get T-boned. Like
Yeah,
if the shot is going from a direct profile from through the other window and you can see through the other window clearly, they're gonna get T-boned at one point. So I was like, oh, is it gonna happen now? Is it gonna happen now? And then when they finally did, I was like, oh, Well, I wasn't expecting it to be there because I was already like, well, it looks like they're not going to do it. But
yeah, but you
yeah.
still, regardless, you saw it coming, and that's
I absolutely saw it coming. As soon as
Yeah.
they got in the car, I'm like, yeah, they're going to get fucking T-boned.
they did it. They did a
Forced.
couple tropey things like that for certain, like the blonde guy coming back for one last go. Although that was funny watching him get run over. That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
But
Mhm.
also, I just want to say, getting stabbed in the eye with a corkscrew
God.
would just that would be just bad, right?
I
Yeah.
was just
Nothing
I'd
good comes
scream
from
for
that.
my mama. It's hurts
yeah,
so
that
bad.
was not didn't
yeah.
seem like a pleasant move.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the Evil Dead remake, there's a needle scene that
Oh
Oh,
God,
yeah.
yeah, that's terrible. You
conjures
know,
up.
you know what? In that movie, you know what gets me more than the needle scene is when the guy gets his fucking hand whacked
Yeah.
in half with a crowbar.
Yeah, that's
that hits too
Yeah.
close.
but I'm sure that's for
something
another
strange.
review. But that's
Yeah.
I would love
We're
to
gonna-
talk about
We're
that.
gonna
film.
we're gonna do horror films in October for sure.
oh, that sounds
That's an official announcement, folks.
you heard it first.
Oh,
here.
whoops, my bad. Sorry.
No. We're
Yeah,
going
fuck
through-
you, Victor.
Yeah,
I'm taking over.
You kind of have to. You kind of have to, really.
Oh no,
It'd
we're
be
doing it. Yeah.
Be weird
absolutely.
not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, I mean, I think I actually really enjoyed this movie. Like thoroughly
can, like,
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can like a good majority of this movie, but
yeah.
it is heavily flawed.
Its
though.
its pacing is really bad.
Until you
like-
get to an
Well,
action scene.
I think
Yeah.
the pacing is bad in the beginning, and then
Mhm.
in the middle it's really good.
Yeah,
I
you're-
fucking love James McAvoy like a lot.
I think
Like-
I think
Yeah,
I think
he
they should have
can-
just cut down on some of the exposition scenes that
Yeah,
weren't necessary. Because
yeah.
like that's the thing, is like they tried to get too wrapped up in like the espionage of it, but it should have
Mhm.
been like you said, just like go get the damn fucking package, get it out.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, McAvoy though he's an actor that can keep most anything afloat. He
Yeah.
could
Definitely.
he could sell you air freshener and you'll believe it.
Yeah. Wait, what? What? Okay.
You'll leave it freshens.
Oh, you
Yeah.
okay? Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
He-
my air is fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, it just goes to show like the talent of a good cast that can somewhat keep a hokey, wooden, uninteresting script kind of intriguing. At least it'll keep you watching a little
yeah.
bit.
If it wasn't for that cast, this movie would have been easily in the not a great movie.
Yeah.
category.
Yeah.
I will say though,
Mhm.
I will say kind of a waste of a perfectly good Till Schweiger as the watchmaker.
Yeah,
Come on.
totally. Yeah,
Oh
That's
yeah.
That's Hugo Stiglitz we're talking about here.
yeah.
Also, John Goodman was very underused in this. I feel
Totally.
he plays
yeah.
such an amazing
On
bad.
the
Yeah.
rebound though. On the
The
rebound
other
though.
one-
Sophia Boutella though.
yeah.
No,
I will say that I was actually really surprised because I didn't remember that Bill Skarsgård was in this movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
that threw me for a loop.
I was
He-
like, oh shit. Like he's not a
It-
very like involved character.
Well, it
but
is
he's-
funny. It is funny because he starts off when you first see him, he's just in the background. He's hardly drawn attention to, but then he becomes a major player all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's kind of, oh, the other guy's gone. Let's just scoot this chess piece to the front here.
How do you think that he got everyone to just open up their umbrellas? You think he was like, yo, I'll give you €2 or excuse me, I guess 2, like was he
I
handing
wouldn't-
out like chocolates or
You know, I wouldn't put it past him. Makes me think of a real life movie making story. The original Dawn of the Dead, they paid all the zombie actors $1 just to be a
Yeah.
zombie in the movie.
yeah.
Oh,
And there were a
I
lot of
read-
zombies in that movie.
They had to steal was it Sam Raimi's comic book money for Caro syrup?
Yeah.
That's pretty great stuff. Yeah, that movie is just a prime example of really ambitious, filmmakers, just doing what amateur filmmakers do best, and that's just try with what they have and come out
Absolutely.
with a product. It's like, yeah, that's why I really love the remake. Is it's good to see them revisit that the thing that they started with, with all their experience and
with the
all their
intent
pull.
that it was originally trying to go
Yeah,
for.
exactly. Yeah, and now it's a cult feature in the sense of the hokiness of the shotgun holes in the door being square after he shoots through them, the obvious like
Right.
matte scenes and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
we
But
digress.
anyway, getting back to Atomic Blonde.
Yeah,
No, another thing. Going back to that Wicked soundtrack for a bit.
man.
In addition to amazing talents like The Clash, David Bowie, New Order, and so forth, I love how the movie handled the music editing, how it weaved the songs into the action sequences between diegetic and non-diegetic. Because they'll have
Oh
a
yeah.
they'll have a radio source somewhere in the scene, and they'll find a way when to edit in, make it sound like it's coming from the boombox, and then just make it part of the soundtrack and so forth.
And one of the other things, one of the things too is they'll set up a scene with like some music like as an intro, right, and then it'll kind of slowly fade down, but like the track continues playing like without you hearing it, and then when the scene kind of ramps up, that music comes back into the scene at wherever the music is, like drop.
Yes.
Like it's really interesting. Like they do a way of kind of like making you forget that was the soundtrack that was leading up to the scene, and then all of a sudden it just pops back in and just accentuates it. I love it. It's this great new wave.
I think my favorite instance of it was when they played Flock of Seagulls at the tail end of the long take scene. Yeah, you hear it on the car radio, and then it kicks up again for the intense bit. That it's just really good.
It was nice to hear some licensed tracks that weren't the ones from Old Guard.
I was about to say it was definitely a step up from the last movie we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought your guys' review of that was actually very spot on. Very spot on.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, I will say this is the better Charlize Theron driven action movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Until she does the next one that may or may
do you
not
think
be
do you think that the scripts will just get progressively more wooden until
Please.
she's actually they just have an actual wood sculpture of Charlize Theron?
God.
Like a nut with
I'll
like
buy
a
my
nutcracker mouth.
I don't want her to peak at Fury Road, even though it's a good place to peak. Let's do better. Let's do her right.
I mean, are we talking peaking for we're talking peaking for action, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say because she definitely won an Oscar for Monster, and that was pretty fucking insane.
No,
yeah.
I meant in terms of action, yes.
Yeah. She was great I thought she was obviously the best actor in this film. She easily like overacted the men in this story. So
she played a great femme fatale, dude. She does.
Absolutely.
She really does.
Yeah.
She's
just
when
one
she's
of those
kicking ass with those
actors.
high stockings. You're just like, damn, that's hot and scary at the same
gracious.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She goes to put on her wire for the next time. It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, director.
Yeah. Really appreciate your work.
No, she's a heavily committed actor. It makes for magnetic.
It's good to have a heroine or like a female anti-hero or whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? It's also great when you have your female action hero and she doesn't make the men feel like complete shit, and you of male watcher.
Yeah, no,
like
exactly.
shit.
There's like zero like kind of political weirdness in it. It's just she's badass. It's just left of that. Everyone knows and respects it. She kicks ass. It's like
she's just a spy. She's just the best spy,
her gender isn't even mentioned.
There's
really.
no need to comment on it.
And they also show that there's other female spies too, although she admittedly is clearly less of a good spy, being with the whole not surviving thing.
She's new. She was only doing it for a year. Charlize
she was an intern.
Character. Yeah, exactly. I was going to get coffee, and now I'm stuck in the fucking middle of this, man.
Yeah. No, just as an example, for comparison's sake, I took a peek at the reboot of Charlie's Angels that came out some months back.
Just a peek.
I was like,
just a peek. Oh God, that's the wrong way to do your gender political driven action movie.
We as men are really not in a in a position to say that. But
Fine,
I
fine,
do.
but still, I felt like shit watching it. It's like the men can't do anything right or anything.
Well, I mean,
Okay, yeah, we
I
can't.
think that's
I-
more of a
I think-
personal
I
reflection.
think
You
that
judge
well, no,
yourself.
I think that in any
not
filmmaking
saying I'm
situation, like regardless of the subject matter, if you try to if you make it a little too preachy, you take away from the enjoyment of the film.
absolutely.
That's what I meant.
Absolutely.
It was way
Yeah.
too preachy, and it was just bland.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
But this movie
so-
did it. This movie did it right.
Yeah. No, it was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Level
it-
playing fields.
So what do you guys think? What overall what are your thoughts on Atomic Blonde?
We're going into ratings now. You
Yeah,
think?
we're gonna wrap
should
this
we do
up.
it?
Sounds like.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Who wants to start?
I could start.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. That's a first.
Wow. Yeah. Right. Nick, you
Shocker. Nick wants
you
to start
greedy
first.
bastard.
Some deep breaths abound.
I'm just a greedy bastard.
Go. For
Go
Um,
greedy bastard.
Atomic Blonde gets a 3 out of 5 for me.
it.
If had it not been for some dope ass action scenes and an entertaining cast and pretty colors and great tunes, this is otherwise pretty boring and not too original from other spy movies.
Wow.
Yeah,
Bazinga.
I'm actually I'm right with you at the 3-star mark too, and
Yeah.
for pretty much the same reasons. It has a lot of really interesting aspects to it, really good aesthetics, and again, really the crew that worked on it clearly they know what they're doing, but yeah, so just not quite enough as far as substance.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go. You know what? I'm gonna go with a 3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit closer to a 3.5 though. I just yeah, I don't know. I just found it to be a little convoluted, the plot. That's one reason why I love the simplicity of John Wick's story, where it's just like, you killed my dog, you took my car,
You're gonna
See?
die.
you're gonna die.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what they could have done here with the just get in, get out, like.
Right. And that's where my biggest flaw is with the film. It was hard to really care about the characters and the situation. I never felt like, oh, is she gonna make it out? Is she gonna do it? I don't know. I just wasn't too into all of that. But just the action alone was very fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very fun. Very good.
Right.
So,
I on my Letterboxd, I give it a 4. I give it 4 stars. I'm
Whoa.
leaning closer to 3.5.
mhm.
I think the action scenes were just so well done that I don't even care about the convolutedness of the movie.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I think personally, and this is going to break Nick's heart, I think that John Wick is a really fucking stupid movie, but it's
Damn.
Wow.
Shots
so
fired.
well done that I mean, think about it. There's no plot. There's really no plot. And then especially in the sequels too, there's
But
even
it's
less
aware
of
that
a
it has
plot.
no plot.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what
Debatable. Debatable.
it's not debatable. It knows they know what
actually,
they're doing. But
By the
I'm not
second
talking
one, they
about
kind
I'm
of
not
build on a mythos though.
but the mythos no one gives a shit about. It's the thing. It's
I
this
was drawn to it.
I give a shit. A lot of people give a shit.
Yeah.
about
I'm glad.
I agree.
I'm glad that you guys care about it.
That's
But
fair.
on Atomic Blonde, I think this was it felt the same as John Wick, but it had more. I feel like there was more story to it than John Wick.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
I think that it helps with I like James McAvoy a lot. I think Charlize Theron doing majority of her own stunts, and from what it seems like, I mean, there could absolutely be face doubles and everything like that. Yeah, I'm leaning 3.5, 4. I mean, I gave John Wick 5 stars. So, I mean, I just think the story is stupid, and it knows John Wick knows what it wants. It's an action film, and it's an action film where you just shut your brain off and watch Keanu Reeves shoot people.
Mhm.
But
He does a good job of that.
Makes
Makes
Um,
it explode.
Yeah,
I thought
know, it's
Victor
like-
was gonna explode because he references it a whole lot.
I mean, it's like my
Love-
top 10 of the decade, but it's
Yeah.
but it's
No,
all
I
good.
think it's. I honestly think that it's one of the best action movies ever made. But
But yeah,
that
it's,
being
yeah.
said,
But you
I don't-
acknowledge you acknowledge its flaws, right? Like
Oh, no,
noth-
absolutely.
nothing's perfect. So that's I see
No,
I
no,
see
no.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's only one movie that I can think of that's perfect, and it's Blade Runner 2049. And
Well,
other
and-
than
Well,
that,
Hey,
the
that's
only
not a perfect movie.
the only thing I can think
You
of
mean The
that's
Big
not
Lebowski?
perfect. Oh yeah, no, sorry, I actually meant The Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
actually.
that's what I thought.
But no, yeah, I would give it. I gave it 4 on my Letterboxd, but I think that's giving it too much. I think I'm going to do 3.5 because there's definitely times where I got bored,
Yeah.
and a 4-star for me is I'm engaged the whole time, but I got what I was expecting. This was I wasn't underwhelmed, but I didn't get anything more. I was like, cool. I'm glad I'm glad I watched it. If
Yeah,
I'd never saw it, I would be fine. But I'm
Yeah.
glad that I watched it.
Mhm.
You didn't walk away from it going, "Oh, that was a waste of time."
Absolutely,
Fun-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Funny by
That's
Chase's
that's how
logic.
that's how I felt with the old guard.
Well,
Funny by Chase's logic, the movie with the more plot is more boring than the movie without much plot.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though I
I-
disagree with that sentiment, but that's the logic here.
I mean, you're the action man, man.
Movie
Nick
man,
McCann, the
movie
action
McCann.
man.
That's
well, and
right.
like it's all subjective,
Don't
right?
you
That's
forget it.
what's great about hearing your guys' opinions. They're
Yeah.
very
I
sometimes.
also love saying shit that pisses Nick off. It's my that's probably my
Yeah.
favorite part
He's got
about
the-
doing
the
this podcast
dartboard.
is I'm like I wonder
You
I
and
wonder what
every
I
person I've met since elementary school.
I'm like, I wonder what movie, I wonder what I could say right now that could make Nick go, well, actually, no.
And if you want a finer
yeah.
example of that, go watch our Terminator review.
Yeah.
I did get to
Fuck those guys.
I did get to listen to that. That was
But yeah, no, I give it, I'm giving it 3 bullet holes out of 5.
Nice.
You mean
Yeah.
3.5 bullet holes?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, 3.5 bullet holes out of 5.
yeah, like one hit like a lamppost and then only
Yeah,
half
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
ricochet.
no,
It's
it's-
like a
it's
fucking
a
flesh wound.
It's a couple 9mm and a cap gun mark.
Yep.
What?
I have no idea what the fuck that means, but yeah.
or like a 22, right?
Well,
Yep.
I think I'm saying something weaker than a 22,
That's
like a
fair.
little
I
cap
mean,
gun. You buy
a
it at
cap
Fred
gun-
Meyer or something.
Yeah, that
Captain,
is
this doesn't even
not
do
strong.
damage.
I mean, it could do.
You need like a pellet gun or something.
Or like one
Oh,
of
there
those
you go. There, that's what you
Fine,
could have
cord
said.
gun. Yeah,
There you go.
pellet
A
gun's
BB
good.
gun.
One
Fine,
Or a
two
paintball
9mm
gun.
and a BB.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. I'll take it.
Nice.
I'll take it.
There it is.
But I'm excited to talk about Crank. I'm
Yes.
Mm.
Let's go to
Yes.
Crank. This one is fun.
All right, crank it up.
yeah,
Cranking
go
it up.
Go on, Nick.
Crank. Chet Chilios has a problem. The local assassin wakes up one morning to find you threw off my groove.
Here, let me play some action music while you're. Hold on.
Dude, yeah, it requires it.
Play Red Rum immediate music.
Do
that's
I
the
look like I have the word "cunt" tattooed on my forehead?
As you can tell, I'm pretty sure everybody here is really excited to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Let's get this.
It-
Are
it-
you
it
doing
has-
the music? Are you doing the music?
Yeah, hold on. Keep
Okay.
keep filling the conversation.
right, we're filling-
we're
Jason
filling this
Statham
conversation.
just needs to fucking commit and shave his head.
Yeah.
Wait, dude, hold it. Doesn't he already have hair?
Oh, here it is.
Oh god.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
Chet Chilios has a problem. The local assassin wakes up one morning to find out he's been drugged with a synthetic poison with no cure. His only chance of living is keeping his heart rate highly elevated by any means necessary. At the same time, he vows to go after those that put him in this mucked up situation. Driving fast cars, doing a lot of drugs, shooting a lot of people in the face. It's on now.
I feel like the music was less impressive
That wasn't very good.
than
That was
it
really
was meant to.
Ugh.
Like,
You gotta
every
let me
2
do
seconds
this.
of-
You gotta
yeah,
let
do
me
it.
do this next time.
All right.
Could you hear me over there?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it again.
Let's do it
All right.
again.
We'll
Let's
just
do
we'll just punch this in.
Can't you do this in post, man?
Honestly, that might be easier.
Yeah.
No, I like it this way.
Fuck
It's
it.
more authentic.
All right, take three. Take three. Chet Chilios has a problem. The local Concentrate.
You got it.
Chet Chilios has a problem. The local assassin wakes up one morning to find out he's been drugged with a synthetic poison with no cure. His only chance at living is keeping his heart rate highly elevated by any means necessary. At the same time, he vows to go after those that put him in this mucked up situation. Driving fast cars, shooting a lot of people in the face, snorting a bunch of drugs. It's on now.
Great. That was good.
Cool. Hopefully they can hear that.
Yeah.
Was it cutting out?
Well, yes,
Yes, definitely.
pretty regularly. You should.
Well, what can you do,
just
you
have,
know?
you just have Rhythm
You
Bot
can-
for this situation.
You could do it in post, bro.
That's why we need a Patreon. So people can give us money so we can get better
We should just
equipment.
get. We should just get sponsored by Woodinville whiskey.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Woodinville bourbon. It's great.
Sponsor.
So yeah, but to be clear, that we're not sponsored by
We are definitely
Woodinville
not
whiskey
sponsored.
anyway.
So should I go for four? For four with the plot?
No, we're good.
we got it.
Fine.
I'm not doing that again.
Jason Statham's been
Well-
drugged and he's got to undrug himself. But to do that, he has to run around a lot, shoot a lot, drive a lot, snort drugs a lot, and say a lot of profanity.
Yeah, he does do all.
He
all-
does. He does
all
a
that.
lot of that.
He
Have
does.
Yeah.
He does a
you
good
all
grip.
seen this film? Have you guys
Yeah,
all
I
seen it?
saw this. I saw
This
this for the
is-
first time last year.
This is actually my first viewing of this one. I saw this. I've seen the sequel.
Okay, I have
Oh.
not seen this. I have not seen this.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
What did you
I-
think, Victor?
Clearly, yeah. I've this one's been on my watch list for a while now. So
I want to know
I-
what
I'm
Victor
excited.
thinks.
I'm excited to hear what you think of it.
Yeah, Victor, why don't you start? Why don't you start
You
being
want me to start?
being the virgin to the Crank series?
Getting his
Ooh.
crank cherry popped.
Yeah, getting your Crank cherry.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was actually really into this,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
main reason was the obviously the editing and the
Oh, yeah.
post production work is genuinely bonkers.
It's so
I've
fucking
never
crazy.
I've
Yeah,
never
it's-
seen a film do it like this, where it's like one part cracked out of its mind, and the second just like corny, low budget editing. It's like,
Yeah,
what the
right?
hell's going on? Like
Yeah.
these like
and-
artificial zooms and these like moments where the entire scene just becomes like deep fried and just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm just
just-
like, what the
Yeah.
hell's going on?
Yeah.
But it's
There's-
like it's so I love it. It's unreal. It's like this early 2000s edginess that just like
Mid 2000s even.
right.
Yeah.
It kind of blew me away, to be honest. I was into it.
It's like you said, like I think that one of the crucial things, like they film it with like freehand camera, right? So it gives you
Yes.
this like
Yeah.
it gives you this constantly like edgy feeling like the entire time. Like there's only a very few times where the camera is still.
Right.
And then like you have the great scene edits where he's on the phone with somebody and you see them in their scene, like in the mirror or like on the side of a billboard or maybe a wall or something.
Yes.
And yeah, man, it's
You-
a treat.
You know what I was thinking the entire time watching this movie? This reminds me a lot of the early Grand Theft Auto games, pre Grand Theft Auto 4, before they emphasized
Yeah, I was
hyperrealism,
thinking that too a little bit while I was watching it.
like Vice City or San Andreas. Or
Yeah.
something.
Right.
This has that wacky insanity to it that's just so freaking enjoyable.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's so many scenes that you just could not get away with today in today's society. Like, at all.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
let me just say this. Let me just say this. If you don't like a scene where Jason Statham straight up calls someone a penis, you're probably not going to like this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty. Not,
yeah. I was just about to say
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking mild for the shit that he says.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
still, it's so great in the simplicity of it.
So
I actually don't even remember that. So
I love the there's so much like purposeful like overacting in some of these scenes that's just so great. Like particularly what's his name? Jeez. My brain is giving out on me here. Oh, Verona.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
like, Jose Cantillo.
Yeah.
His like lick lipping and his just like his like face expressions and stuff when he's on the phone. Just
Uh-huh.
I thought you were
Dude.
dead. Like like it's so great.
What
Like
was
You're
the scene
supposed
with
to
the
be dead.
dog? Remember the scene with the
Oh,
dog? Why was that there?
the scene
Scene
with the dog.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember the dog scene.
So much
He-
shit happens in this movie.
Yeah, dude,
yeah,
this was
it's you're just getting pounded
He's
by
getting
it.
he's getting like licked off by a dog. You don't remember that? Gets a call
No,
from Stay the.
no. No,
I
no, no, no,
don't.
no, no. Some girl was doing that.
I don't think so.
There was a girl there, I swear.
I don't think so. I think it was the dog.
Well, we're not going
Hang
to debate it
on,
right
hang
now.
on.
Yeah,
Hang
because
on,
that-
hang
that's
on.
there's a long
Someone has
list
to go back
of-
and watch.
That's
a-
one that we're gonna have to revisit on the tapes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
It was just
particularly
everything was-
remember any canine fellatio happening. But,
Dude,
There
I'm
is a
pretty sure it
long
happened.
list of crazy, whacked out stuff in this
oh
film.
man, yeah.
This
there's
guy's
there's a lot
driving
to unpack.
motorcycle. This guy is driving a motorcycle while standing on it,
And while wearing a hospital gown. Don't
Dude,
forget
I was
that.
laughing
Yes.
my ass off during that. It was so funny.
He gets
Oh, man.
defibrillated so hard he's propelled
Fucking-
back into an elevator.
Juice me. Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's good.
The guy's like, what?
What's his name? The guy who plays Dennis from
Yeah,
Glenn
Howerton.
Yeah, Glenn. Yeah, that
Howerton,
was
yeah.
he's just him just like struggling to find the EpiPen. And, like it's like hilarious and like it's not really like it's not like overly played to be hilarious. It's just the way that he's just like fucking like, dude, I'm trying to find it. Like he's got that kind of body language that just really adds to that scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You also got Dwight Yoakam, country star Dwight Yoakam as his doctor on the phone.
yeah,
What-
yeah.
For one
Who-
thing, he's great. His
Yeah.
character is entertaining, but also this leads into my favorite part of the movie. It's when he finally does take that giant shot of epinephrine, and he just goes running down the street in the subsequent phone
Yeah.
He's
conversation.
like,
Great.
yeah, he's like, did you take the whole
Check.
thing? And he goes, copy. Yeah, check.
Yeah,
check.
check.
Hold on, check.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, do you have a raging hard on
Yeah.
right now? He just looks down, check. and then the scene after that where he's like watching the video of himself, like up on the thing, and the guy like looks over and recognizes him, and then just like looks down and just sees his raging hard on, and then just like he and quite wisely just decides to just ignore him. Like
Exactly.
yeah,
This is a movie that forces you to go back to 12 years old and
Yeah.
to
Oh,
not
yeah.
feel
Oh,
guilty
yeah.
about it. It's
yeah,
so
for
great.
sure.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what?
and-
You know what? It's because Jason Statham, like Charlize in her own way, he commits. He is
Oh, yeah.
full on into this. The
Yeah.
second you see his rage filled face when he finds
Ye-
out he's been poisoned, that
Yeah.
says it all right there.
Yeah.
This
And,
man is pissed. He's
uh,
going out on an adventure.
No, one of the other things I want to say about this movie that I think is really quite interesting is that it manages to have a cohesive and like decent little story arc, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
like,
definitely does.
amidst all the chaos, they put in like a love scene which is fucking hilarious. Like their whole relationship. I want to get on that here in a minute because that's fucking great in its own right. But then there's kind of a little slightly more intrigue once he finds out that he's got more than one nemesis. We can unpack that later too. But like, yeah, it's really interesting how amidst the chaos they managed to kind of sneak in this other this story arc that you actually kind of care about, and it's just done so well. It's funny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. This movie gives you everything it needs in such without sacrificing pacing and with keeping everything in real time almost.
Right.
And also, there's the late great Chester Bennington makes a
That's right.
I thought
Makes
so.
a
I thought that's what
cameo.
it was.
He goes
Yeah.
nasal spray, gets you totally fucked
Oh
up.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's got
It'll get
adrenaline in it. Yeah, get you
Yeah.
tweet.
He's like, I love how he's just like he shows up at the hospital. He's just like, I need something that starts with E. He's like, synthetic adrenaline.
He's like, I don't
He's like,
fucking know. Go get me something with yeah.
Epinephrine. She's like, oh, I love you.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
This is such a fucking crazy fun movie.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me a lot of Guns Akimbo, just how like
Oh yeah.
nonstop bullshit and like just
But
it's
it is
so it's significantly well done for what it's, in my opinion. I think
I
it's,
agree.
I think it's super well done. I was worried because it's an early 2000s movie when he's like, we need to make love in the street, and she's
Oh
like
my
saying no and
God.
shit. I was
Yeah.
really worried that they were gonna go with a
No.
A rapey
and
scene.
then exactly, and then
No, but then it just kind of segues into being cheered on by a bunch of
Exactly,
schoolgirls in a fucking bus. Everybody around is just gathered around.
he
just
was
stoked
so
on it.
handsome and he was giving it to her, magnum size.
Yeah. He's like,
No.
I'm alive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Which again, like that relationship with him and Eve, in that, so Amy Smart,
Yes.
her character is just brilliant. Like she's so nonplussed about everything from start to finish. Like he's so cash about being like, oh, I've been fatally poisoned. We gotta go because this hitman probably tried to come and kill you. And then she's like, oh, I don't know. Like she's just like not bothered by it. And then he proceeds to tell her like, oh, like I'm a hitman and I kill people. And her real response to that is she follows him in to like watch him do it just to make sure he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it's such a funny, like there's so many movies where the girlfriend is like a burden or like somehow like like kind of just like, but she's just along for the ride. Like it's so interesting.
I
so
figure a lot
funny.
of the joke was because she's a giant stoner, and a lot of this
Yeah.
is a very delayed reaction sort of thing.
It's
So
pretty
that
great.
works. That works even better in that context.
Some of the one-liners in this movie are fucking gold. So I remember,
Yeah.
you guys remember when he chops off that dude's hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like he like after he like chops off his hand, he throws it at
Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite.
Kalo.
yeah,
Kalo.
Kalo. He throws it at
Kato.
Kalo. He's just like, you want to hold hands?
Yeah.
He's like, there's like that whole amputation fight scene is fucking hilarious.
Oh, it is.
Cause he goes tries to punch him and he like punches him with his stub and he just like like all fucking
Yeah.
like horrified.
And then Statham finds his gun with his hand still attached to it, and he holds it by the hand and aims it and points at the guy.
There's
work,
also
Kato.
there's that oh man, that okay, one of my favorite scenes, and it's such like an erroneous bit, but it just like adds to the goofiness, is when he calls Chev and he's like, oh, I saw that dude you're looking for, I was getting tacos. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, getting tacos.
Getting tacos.
And so then the rest of the scene is like him like full born and over there while Pedro, I can't remember his name right now. What's his name? Kalo. Efren or whatever I think in the movie. But when he or Efren's the actor, yeah. So Kalo, he's just sitting there chilling, like right,
Eating his
like he's just
tacos,
eating
man.
his tacos and shit, and it's just like it's such a funny like juxtaposed scene, and it just like it wasn't necessary in the text in the context of like adding any real like plot device or development or anything. It was just weird and fun, and it just worked. It just added added to the kind of crazy wackiness of the whole movie.
Totally. Now, if I could get technical, kind of piggybacking off of that bit there, if I could get technical about Crank, the absolute wildest movie of all time, this movie is a cameraman and editor's wet dream. There's a lot of, you should say it's low budget and janky in terms of that, but I think it's pretty damn inventive at times. They're using all different kinds of editing schemes and camera setups.
Yeah.
Crash zooms, split screens.
I was gonna ask you actually, so that like I don't know if it's like are they using like a higher frame rate or a lower frame rate to make it feel like it just there's something about the way that the movement is where it just feels like kind of hyper like speed, like everything.
I would
more
imagine
urgent.
I would imagine they used a smaller camera and they just kind of had the cameraman try and keep pace with Statham running around
you
everywhere.
see that kind of filmmaking or that kind of like Shutter style or whatever in like the Bourne movies too, where it's like everything just kind of seems like it's
sure. Yeah.
I don't really,
they use a tighter lens, so they use something that's to make them, so they use something less wide, so that way the movements are in frame for
Right.
less amount of time. So it makes it look like it's going faster. There's also a really, really common thing where when you're punching something, it doesn't look like they did it in this because the technique might have not been around at the time, but you take one frame of movement from a punch and you cut it. And so that punch looks like it's delivered way, way faster than it actually is because it's now going one frame faster. But
whatever technique they use, it really what it did to me is it added to like making you, the viewer, feel like that
you're a part of
like
this journey.
yeah, that like
Yeah.
junkied out kind of feeling. And like again with like what Victor was talking about earlier about the color palettes just getting like crazy,
Fucked up,
just
crazy
just
saturated.
washed and all that stuff. It just like when the cameras get all warbly when he starts to slow down. I also think like the subtle thing of like the phone, the diddle doo.
Yes.
Where it kind of drains,
yeah,
like,
I noticed that too. Yeah,
that just kind of like it's so weird that a movie that's basically Speed but just a dude
Yeah.
is so good.
This is Speed. This is Speed, but it kind of but it
with
reeks
no buzz.
of this is Speed, but it reeks of that energy of a guy who just found a video camera and just got his friends together and went out and made the craziest, wildest movie they could possibly do.
With a little bit too much Rockstar energy drink.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
it was
man, you
Red
wanna
Bull. By the way, there was product.
Yeah, it was
placement.
Red Bull.
That's the one he
And
drank.
Rockstar. Dude,
Yeah, that's true.
There's it's subtle stuff, but there's every once in a while they'll like be describing something certain and they'll come up with like the dictionary definition of it.
Oh yeah.
And there'll be like an actual subtitle of the definition, like when the Haitian taxi driver is like, "Are you a crackhead?" And then he said, "What?" He goes, "Crackhead." And then when he says it slower, the like crack and head like show up.
Yeah.
And same thing when he goes to the warehouse.
That's
he says, "What do I look like? I have cunt written on my forehead," and then it like flashes on his forehead.
There's one bit which I thought was like super fucking hilarious. It's like there's like the factory that they're in, right? And he's leaving, and that manager is just like yelling at all the workers, and he's just like saying something, but like the subtitles are just like phonetical spelling of him just like saying something in a different language. It's just like pong long, like whatever, like fucking just like written down there. Like it doesn't give you any context about what he's actually saying.
Dude,
it's so fucking funny.
Hilarious.
Just like weird little, they have just so many goofy little things like that, just sewn throughout the whole film that just make it just such a gem.
This very much feels like that brand of carefree, politically incorrect humor you find something like a Duke Nukem video game, like a good Duke Nukem game.
Go on.
No, I was gonna say that's the good stuff right there.
Oh man, like yeah, that just reminded me of the scene where he's just like snorting coke off the ground.
Yep, in the bathroom,
and he's kind of realizing like that he's got to keep, that's keeping him alive, right? Yeah. And he's like, so what are you gonna do next? And he's just like, I'm gonna kick some black ass, and then that whole thing is like, you could not in a million years get away with that today.
Absolutely.
Not today.
Yeah.
Not
it added,
today.
but it just added to like you were not expecting him to say that shit. Like
No,
absolutely not.
It was just one of those like gobstopping, like, what did he just? Okay,
what did he fucking say?
I mean, I guess it makes sense because he's like, that's gonna piss him off.
Yeah,
and it's gonna make him want to fight. Yeah. So. And I love when I thought it was funny when they all come in with the guns, and it was like, they would do something, and the guys, I don't remember what the guy's name was, but Orlando, I think his name was Orlando. Yeah, Orlando, and he would go, and he'd go, no, the white man's cool,
Yeah.
And then every time you'd say something crazy, they'd all point their guns at him. And there'd be like a close up of like a barrel or something.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said, but he's like, you guys are like the Taliban up in here, or some shit like that. Like, they were all just like, I can't remember.
Oh boy.
God, the taxi driver.
Yeah.
He goes, Al Qaeda.
Oh my god.
And they all.
And then like the old white lady just like jump on him,
like break his leg.
I forgot they added like the leg breaking sound at the end of that. Like they straight up just wrecked his ass. Like
that's some good.
That granny was eating Wheaties.
2000s humor right there.
Dude, it
Yeah.
was. Oh,
And then
Reminds
man.
me of a little bit of the game Postal. In a
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah. But not the movie, which Uwe Boll fucking.
That guy.
Oh man,
Fuck
what
that
a
guy. Seriously.
what a giant cringe that guy is.
Enough of this.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from him.
Uh,
No, yeah, Postal. Like, it just has that kind of like anything's on the table action. You know,
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
will you sign my petition, please? There's none of that. There's no petitions to be found here. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just kind of in a mood after this movie. It's so unabashedly
Dude,
fun.
this is.
Yeah.
I'm on IMDb looking this movie up. The cinematographer's name is Adam Biddle.
Yes.
Hey.
He's the same guy who shot Alien.
No way.
Oh my
Oh wow.
god.
Wow,
Yeah.
that really shows you like how
I'm pretty.
crafted
No,
the
no,
whole
no.
thing
That's a
must have
different.
been.
It's a different guy.
It's a different Biddle.
Okay.
It's a
No,
different Biddle.
Adrian Biddle is the one that shot. Adam.
Okay.
Oh man, is he still working? Because I gotta. Oh, he is
Well,
still working. Oh
yeah,
no.
Adam Biddle, he made a pretty decent werewolf movie a few years ago called Howl. I would actually recommend that one. It's pretty
I
good.
feel like I watched
Dude.
that, but I can't be certain.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm supposed to be the only cinematographer Biddle out there. This is
No, dude, you're gonna build
What if
yourself
we're
up, and
related?
you're gonna build yourself
No.
up, and you're gonna take the high throne. You're
It's
gonna
a
take
classic.
the crown.
It's a classic Highlander situation, but just cut off his
Well,
head, and then
Yeah,
lightning will strike,
exactly.
and
And
then you'll get all of his
I'll
filmmaking
keep
power.
it in a jar in my
And you'll be-
studio, and then there we
yeah,
go.
There
No,
could
no,
only
like-
be one.
Lightning
Yeah.
happens, and then there's absolutely no CIA investigation whatsoever.
Yeah,
not- not-
absolutely. That's
Yes.
crazy though. You don't see my last name. My last name is not very common. So
I would imagine so. Not.
yeah.
There's,
anyways-
there's very little Biddles apparently.
Yeah, very little Biddles. Yeah, for sure.
Don't
Little
biddle me
biddle.
around here. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I've been getting this my whole fucking life.
Knock
Well,
it
I'm
off.
glad.
mate.
Now it's just tradition, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could be a
Biddle,
part of it.
Middle Biddle. Like, shut the fuck up. I get it.
But anyways, like I was trying to say, I remember this. I remember it very clearly. I was channel surfing last year, and this movie came on TV, and I didn't feel like doing anything else. I just kind of turned it on. It's like, okay, Jason Statham. I heard about this growing up. I'll flip it on, see what's what. And I was completely floored. How much fun I was having. People say like to bring up movies that do what they do, and don't try to do anything more. And some of those movies can be the best movies of all time in a lot of people's opinion. This movie, very much, it's committed to doing one thing and one thing only, and it does it very well. Just have Jason Statham do a whole bunch of crazy shit around town, and don't need to read much more into that, really. It's very well done Statham madness.
And that's kind of the crux of why I chose these two as like side by sides. Is like one is really attempting to go, to be an action blockbuster but it kind of distracts itself by trying a little too hard. Where there's just a clear, crisp vision in Crank.
Yeah.
Yes.
and it's just executed to the T's. Like it's really rare that you see something like that. I would say maybe Hardcore Henry does the same
okay.
thing. It hits
Yeah.
that same
Yeah.
exact mark.
Yeah, Dread even does so, but it also
I love Dread.
yeah,
I'm a
Dredd-
Dreadhead.
Yes, of course. Dread does it, but it also kind of succeeds in getting a little, at least as far as scope, like visual scope or conceptual
Yeah.
scope. It does succeed in pushing that extra mile a little bit. But
Yeah,
still,
I mean,
these are very contained movies that know their limitations and satisfy within those boundaries.
I will say that whoever Chev Chelios's cell phone carrier is, I want it because when he was free falling from an airplane, his message came through clear as fuck.
Yes.
Right, like, and I like, I've been out, like, I've been next to a fan before, and it just sounded like shit, and I feel like he's got, like, if that's some like T-Mobile shit. I don't know what he's got, but sign
I
me
want
up.
it.
Vodafone. I don't know.
Give it to
Tell
me.
me.
Oh yeah, and especially around that time, shit. Especially around the like
Yeah,
2006.
they definitely had those nice bricky kind of phones. They weren't They weren't as
The
bad
ones-
as like the early '90s ones, but they were,
Yeah.
they're still thick, 2Cs.
The ones that were
Yep.
phones and not your music player and your internet and your social
Yeah,
media
no,
and your
yeah.
calculator and none of that.
For the younger listeners out there, that was a thing. You had to have your own. You had like have an MP3 player, separate from your phone.
Yeah, you have to put a
Yeah.
calculator in your pocket protector. Keep a
Mhm.
notebook for notes.
Pocket protector? You had a pocket protector?
No, other people did.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
have
dude,
time to-
I mean,
I didn't work. Dude, I
how-
didn't even work.
How
collar
else
shirts
would
all
you
that much.
protect your dainty pockets?
I was gonna say, how the fuck do you need a pocket protector for? There's literally
It's for your pens,
For
smart
your
guy.
pens, dude, so they don't explode, bro.
Yeah, so they don't
Bruh.
explode or fall out.
And for the younger audiences, pens were a thing that kids used to write on paper with.
Before that was pencils, and they were made out
Yeah.
of wood and graphite.
Yep.
Elements of this earth that you do not bother seeing because you don't leave your house.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can't.
Ow.
Yeah.
Straight for the throat.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I'm all
He's like
up for the throat.
he's like a proud lioness on the
Yeah.
on the African savannah.
Mm,
And I say lioness,
Well-
not just because like they're the hunt, they hunt.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
when they hunt to kill.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they go for the throat, bro.
Mhm.
But
So,
yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, so we like a hell of a lot of shit in this movie. Is there anything that stood out as not so hot?
I honestly
Mm.
can't. I honestly can't think of anything.
A lot of it's
It's
kind of
really-
nitpicky for me.
It's really it's really hard to point out any one element that I thought was poorly executed. To be honest, I think that
Yeah, me
like
too.
it all the hamminess was obviously done on purpose. Everything
Exactly.
it was just so self-aware
Yeah,
throughout
exactly.
its entire journey that it's hard to really pick
Yeah.
things apart. Like even like I said, the story arc was moderately compelling and like it
Yeah.
wrapped up pretty dankly. And
Yeah.
and then if you for another day, Crank 2, it's out there.
Yeah.
And how you got to explain how does he survive that
That's
I'm
what I
definitely-
want to know.
I'm
Right?
definitely
So,
gonna watch the sequel. for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
like so
me too.
yeah. But I'm glad that you guys love it as
Yeah.
much as I do because I
Sure,
think it's
yeah.
And
such a-
while we're on the sequel talk here, actually, there was also recently announced was also Atomic Blonde 2.
Hmm
oh really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, Charlize is coming back. I think David Leitch is returning as director.
Nice.
Sam Hargrave is doing stunts again.
Cool.
All
So
right
who
on,
knows?
yeah.
I hope it's better than the last one.
I'll watch
Yeah,
it
I mean,
regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
like I'll assume I like to think that a director is gonna always try to like push a little harder and hopefully hopefully they'll bring a little bit more
Sure, yeah.
or less, honestly.
Or
Less is more
Yeah,
sometimes,
honestly.
just bring
Let's
the
do it.
action.
Let's
I
bring
mean-
it back.
It's clear that she's so capable and it clears that they're very capable as far as
Yeah.
filmmakers. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
maybe
know
trim the
what?
fat, just trim the fat and
That's what I would
Totally.
appreciate. Because that's
Do-
one thing about the John Wick sequels that I really don't like the lore in those films. I think it's
don't?
really uninteresting.
Yeah.
you
So-
don't find
agree.
like a secret
I
organization of
agree.
like long-term assassins. not
disagree.
interesting?
Well, it's like the concept's cool, but dude, I don't know. For some reason, I just cannot get into it. The second and third. Is there four?
Maybe you're
no, just
maybe you're
two
just
and
a
three.
block of wood.
I might be, but I don't
Well,
know. That's
I don't know.
why
I
I got-
think,
when
I
I
think
saw-
that I think that
what-
if you have like kind of an interest in like occultism or just like things of that sort, it kind of reaches out to you there, because it's got that air of mystery and just like really old tradition, which is a really unique plot instrument, I think. And I
for sure.
I understand that if if you don't find it that interesting, but that's not to say that it is not interesting to a lot of viewers. So
No, that's the thing.
It-
Like
it's a
the
pretty
concept.
subjective one.
Yeah, I don't know. I just anyway. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
Victor likes character arcs and deep brooding moments of
That's.
Oh, you mean things that
smug.
make movies?
I need people
Not-
to sigh
every
and-
movie.
and
Not-
mope for 2 hours. That's my
the
movie.
camera needs to
Yeah, me
linger on
too.
people
There's some-
sitting very still for 62 seconds at a time.
Oh man, that's one of those things. That's one of the things about like older '70s movies and such is like you get a lot of that really empty space auditorially.
But
Where
I
Yeah.
I
love
think
it.
with modern filmmaking, it's a lot. There's so much Foley and there's like so much
Yeah,
like
so
kind
much
of live music.
noise, honestly.
Where
I was watching,
and
yeah.
some of those old movies can pull it off really well, and some of them it's just like just drags that scene.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Well, for one thing, the 70s is my favorite decade of film ever
So
made.
creative.
It really is. And also, yeah, there is a lot more noise in movies nowadays because attention spans are shrinking and you can't trust anyone to really look into the deeper meaning of the movie. I was
And-
watching a film a couple days ago called White Lightning with Burt Reynolds.
Oh
Sim-
man.
simple revenge movie, but yeah, it's the way it approaches storytelling much different than how you do a revenge movie nowadays because it's all about
Yeah.
it's a lot about building the relationships between characters and the quiet moments. Occasionally there's a car chase, but otherwise it's built on the backbone of the story and developing it.
Yeah.
Nowadays you wouldn't do that.
Well,
No
and
one would bother sitting still for that unless you want to
I
have
think
a indie budget or something.
the other things too is about some of the even like the more blockbustery 70s movies is that they had to use it was all practical effects. Everything was done practical. All the car
Sure.
chases were done, so like
Yes.
there's a little bit more like realism in all the scenes, about like, when the crashes happen, car flips,
Yeah.
some like crazy
Yes.
motion, whatever,
Yes.
and so yeah, I think that there's films still being made that really like, kind of reach back to that, but that is something that was really great about the 70s and 80s as far as filmmaking was
Totally.
concerned. Is that
The
there's
closest
still
movies
a
I could
foot in.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
go. No, I was gonna say the closest movies I could think of that come close to that 70s style of storytelling are, I think, Hell or High Water and Wind River, both Taylor Sheridan movies, because those movies are all about the relationships and the action comes out of character reaction and so forth. It's all about it's about the meaning in the story and the unfolding plot as it goes along. It's not.
You should watch a movie called A Place Beyond the Pines.
I'll take a look
That's
at that for sure.
that
That's a
one
good
is
one. That's a good one.
really good.
Okay.
It's not necessarily an action film, but there is a lot of
Yeah.
action in it.
Oh,
But
sure.
it's very heavily it's really an emotional character like drama. It's it's actually pretty damn good, and I'm a big Gosling fan, so
Of course, who isn't?
he's in that. Yeah, yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's like what you're saying. But I do think you're talking about how there's no quiet moments. But I was thinking of when we were watching Alien, something that I think I brought it up in the podcast as well. But we're getting to a point. I want to know when at a certain point did we start to end movies with an ending scene, with like a full ending scene, because
Yeah.
Alien just ends. Like
Yes.
she escapes the xenomorph, goes into cryo sleep in 2 minutes.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're done. Same thing happens with Aliens, with Alien 2, Aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
They escape, and I mean that one has a little bit more, but like it still is not. There's not really an ending scene. There's no, and it'd be interesting to see when that like ending scene trope of where it just ends kind of. I want to know when that stopped, because I'm not a big fan of movies just like, oh, here's the climax and then okay, now we're going home. Like it's like I want to
No, now they stopped doing that when they meant to switch to primarily franchise filmmaking nowadays. Everything's
Well,
got
but
to set
I
up
was
a
gonna say
sequel.
there's still examples out there of that kind of filmmaking being produced, but it's not. It doesn't ever seem to be like big, big budget film,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Few and far between.
And it's just kind of one of those filmmaking techniques. I think like you've seen No Country for Old Men, right? Simi?
Oh yes.
yeah.
So that one really kind of felt like a modern day throwback to some of the 70s movies. They had no music, a lot of really kind of empty
Yes.
space between scenes.
Yes.
But it had a lot of modern techniques as far as filmmaking and camera work was concerned.
Oh yeah.
And that goes to show that that style of filmmaking still works. It's just people don't execute try for it because
Yeah.
there's already a formula, where there's an action scene, so we gotta pump up the music to make the suspense feel there. But the reality is that with acting, good acting and good film like cinematography, you can build that suspense without the need of like music to really do it. Like
Mm,
I think the other thing that I think is lost on a lot of modern filmmaking is like leaving things up to the audience's mind,
Yes.
like not necessarily showing
Ambiguity,
somebody
yes.
done. Yeah, like that's it's too much like obvious, destruction or someone gets killed in a really obvious way. But like some of the best 70s and 80s horror movies, like you only really got to see like on screen a couple kills, and maybe the other ones are kind of it's up to your imagination.
Yeah.
Like when
John
you
Carpenter made a whole career out of ambiguity, and look
Yeah,
for
well,
that, and look how
yeah,
that turned out.
absolutely. And then when you look at like what's the it's gonna drive me Psycho, right? So Psycho,
Yes.
like that's that's a prime example of just putting this image into someone's head and letting them fill out the rest,
Mhm.
and that's something that a lot of people don't do in modern, but
Yeah.
you do see it every once in a while, and when you do, it's kind of like
Sure.
you
Yeah.
give it a little nod, right?
Yeah. But mostly on the flip side, we get wild, crazy stuff like Crank here.
Yeah,
Just lays it out on the table and does not hold back.
And yeah, just unabashedly too. It's
Only here, it was the correct way to approach such a manic concept.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think this shoot 'em up. That's another. If you haven't seen shoot 'em
I
up,
love Shoot 'em Up.
that's another wild ride that knows what it's doing, tongue in cheek the
Yes.
entire time.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so what do you guys think?
We'll go for ratings now.
Yeah, do you
I'm
want
good.
to?
Let's do it. I'll let someone else go. I'm not greedy.
Matt.
I'm gonna give it a 5 for real.
Whoa, yes.
Yeah, I'm giving it the 5. It just every time I've ever watched this movie, I've laughed and I've just been involved in it. It's always just got me to be interested. Good, catches my attention every time.
Cool. All right, I'll go next. My original rating was 3.5, but I think I'll bump it up to a 4 now because, yeah, it doesn't need to do a whole lot. It just gives you what the title is gonna tell you it's gonna do. It's gonna crank.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go into that movie, you get exactly what you expect
Totally.
going into
You get
it.
cranked.
Yeah, you get cars,
You get
babes, guns, Statham, drugs.
Am I saying it's the best movie of all time? Hell no. But for what it tries to be, it nails it 100%. And yeah,
That's
I
it.
agree.
That's it.
I would I changed mine. I put mine on Letterboxd. I did 3, but I think I gotta bump this up to a 4.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this movie so damn much, and I enjoyed the I think I remember enjoying the second one more, but I haven't I saw it once, but
it's zany as all hell, I'll tell you.
yeah, and I could be mixing it up with this one. I mean, the sequel seems very, very similar. But I specifically remember the car battery on the tongue. That was
Oh yeah, that was in all the trailers I remember.
yeah.
Yeah, I just hope because Speed came up earlier. I just hope it's not Speed 2.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't make it Speed 2.
Yeah.
Or
but no, yeah, I would give it 4. I think it's such a creative movie and also fairly low budget. It was only I think it only cost 12 million to do, which at only 12 million I know is crazy, but
right.
in a
in
time
filmmaking terms, yeah,
in time when action movies were, especially early 2000s, were 40,000-50,000s. For what they did, it's such a fun movie, and the directors, or I don't know if it's single director. I know there's multiple writers, but
Duo directors.
That's what I thought. They let the editor. I was reading behind the scenes stuff, and they let the editor play with it, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, that's." fucking crazy, and I'm
That's
cool.
what you like to hear, right? Like you
Exactly.
just somebody knowing like somebody's got someone like that's their job, right? And they're good at it. So just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So I really I really enjoyed this. I would definitely. I'm very content on my 4 stars.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 4 stars as well. I just
All
haven't seen.
right.
Yeah, I just haven't seen an action film like this. I could see myself like if I was a talented filmmaker, and wanted to do an action film. This is something similar where it's just balls to the wall, and manic to the point of like not caring. It's just like it's totally confident in what it's doing, and I totally appreciate it. It's just I would love to watch it again and do like a back to back with the sequel because I haven't seen the sequel either.
That's the move, really. Like,
but it's
that's
just like
the move.
I just love how it's sort of nonstop with its action, and sure it slows down in some points, but it's like
it does like 2 points like with Eve. I think when there's like a couple scenes where he's just like talking to her.
right.
Yeah. But
But
those,
it's
but you need those. You need those.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's surprisingly for being how much action packed it is. It doesn't feel fatiguing.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right?
Yeah. And it helps because it stays so creative with like how he's supposed to like keep his heart rate going, and there's so many different ways that he does it, and
Yeah.
They get very creative with that. I love
They do.
creative movies like this. It's gleeful when you see the creativity on screen.
yeah,
Just all the different concepts they think of. It's
And then
exactly what you would think of.
And then it made it
Right.
through the Hollywood shuffle to like get there because like
Mhm.
I like to pitch this movie. Must have been interesting, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like
Man, yeah. Oh, what? Oh, jeez, Louise. Oh, what? There's a couple video game parallels in the movie too. Particularly like the opening title card looks just like a start screen or whatever. That's the perfect way to describe it. It's a video game come to life.
yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm really happy about this one. I feel like I had something else to say.
I'll
Ooh.
say though, it's a shame we can't have watch parties or sleepovers or anything like that anymore. Because this is what I call a sleepover movie. This is where like a bunch of early high school kids will get together for sleepover. They'll have soda and video games, and they'll marathon a bunch of movies until the dawn. This movie would be in that.
Oh yeah,
stack.
hell yeah.
What's funny about that is I think I was like 19 when the movie came out. When did it come out?
2006.
2006. No, I was it was my senior year of high school.
Sick,
So
dude.
yeah,
I'm fucking young.
it put me there. Yeah, no, I'm old as shit. I came from the old ways of the before times when
I
there
can
wasn't
dig it.
when there literally wasn't anything to do on the internet that was actually real.
Yeah, man. YouTube
Like,
was just starting up that year.
You were like, well, I can just like talk to people
Yep.
and play
Yes.
Warcraft.
Oh man. Simpler times.
Indeed.
So I don't
But
think
yeah, no, you hit it spot on with that sleepover movie feeling. It's got that kind of like just the goofiness. It's just so goofy.
And I'm glad Chase brought up that little story with the editors and the directors because it's the total running around with a camera, seeing what you make feel too. It's
like if it wasn't for that kind of that editing and that like it wouldn't have the same feeling that it has.
Oh, no,
It's
I would-
at all. Like that department deserves a big pat on the back and some kudos.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
that
it is?
unconventional editing that really makes it shine. If I think if anyone else had a hold of it, it'd just be like, well, all right, that was fun, but nothing makes it stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what it is. There's a perfect quote to sum this up. So Nicolas Cage was talking about making Racing Arizona, and he recalled a story on set. He went to the Coen brothers and he said to them, "He's like, I'm getting that great Super 8 feeling." And he says the Super 8 feeling is the feeling you get when you're making a movie because you like making the movie, not just to make money or to just something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is he referring to like like shooting on Super 8, just having
just he's having that much fun on set.
Yeah.
Like he's getting that energy from the set and
Yeah,
It's like the opposite of a Michael Bay movie.
You and the Michael. Okay, I'm gonna
lens flare everywhere.
Yeah.
Lens flare and
Lens
everything.
flare. Let's make this girl pose and air brush on a motorcycle, even though she.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I fucking hate him.
I'm gonna get you to watch. I'm gonna get you to watch a good one of his movies one day.
I
Mark my
promise
words.
you, I'm not gonna like it.
You will like it.
It's not. Just because it's a Michael Bay film, it's not getting more than 3 stars.
Aw,
It could be
come on.
literally perfect. And if it's directed by Michael Bay, it will get no more than 3 stars. I promise you. It's just he's just such a fucking dick. Like I don't even care. I don't even care. If I'm ruining my chances with working with Michael Bay, I would rather.
Michael Bay, so you can
Nah,
see
nah,
how
you
you
can-
feel.
You can.
Oh, I
not
would tell
work
him
with
to his face. I'm like, I think you're shitty to your staff, or to not hear your staff for your people that are making your movie. You know,
Sure.
I do think it's cool that sometimes he operates camera. I think that's cool.
Well, yes.
But other than that, I think he's a douchebag.
Speaking of Michael Bay and operating camera, there was a funny story. Not a funny story. There was just a story I heard of him too. I'm just full of stories tonight.
You're a story man.
So there was a TV show called.
Story man.
There's a Nick McCann Story Man. There's a TV show a few years ago. I watched one season of called The Last Ship. It was a pretty good show. Michael Bay was a producer on it, and the first episode, he requested to shoot some of the opening scene because the scene was in snow. They were on snow, and he never shot in the snow before, so he wanted to try out snow shooting. So I thought that was kind of amusing. Like he's got some kind of bucket list to him. I want to shoot in the snow. I want to drive a fast car, and I want to this robot or whatever. I'm just thinking of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Hell, I got one. I think all filmmakers got some kind of bucket list going on.
I want to film a samurai fight in the snow. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah,
sure.
I need to do old school John Woo style gun ballet. That'd be epic.
I need a castration scene.
I just want to make uncomfortably awkward comedy
what?
moments.
Victor?
A castration scene, man, that one's coming out of left field.
Ugh.
I gotta say.
Oh,
So, you know,
God.
if done
Okay.
right, that
It's
can
gotta
be
happen.
brutal as
It's
shit.
gotta
All
happen.
right, cut this off. Turn this off. Get us off the air. It's
It's gotta happen.
Are you gonna throw it out of the wall like those like sticky creatures things you can buy for 25 cents?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a great
boy,
idea.
Oh boy. Well, Matt, thank you for these recommendations.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Matt.
no worries, guys. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's been
It was
fun.
a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah.
Well,
This
I
is a lot
guess
of
should
fun.
we
I
should we
like
wrap it up, or is that
That
are we
will
done?
wrap it up
Wrap it
for
up.
this week.
All right. Well, as always, thanks for listening. Make sure you're subscribed and following on the streaming platforms, and tell your friends, tell your grandma. Let her know we
Specifically-
have an episode on
Wait.
Crank,
Friends.
and
Yeah.
she might want to watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Grandma
geez.
would love this one.
Yeah, not NSFW as it were.
Yeah. My grandma
But,
loves Jason Statham.
Loves
Yeah.
a fan.
Oh, I'd love
Um,
to talk about the Meg one day.
Oh,
Meg.
I heard, yeah, this is the shark movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's probably my favorite Statham movie.
I'm gonna have to watch it now after hearing you say that. I'll have to
You know, it's a
give it
good
watch.
shark movie. Is 47 Meters Down.
Fuck that noise.
It's actually good.
No, it's
Sorry,
not.
Nick.
It's not. It's a lot
But,
of hyperventilating and poor character choices and not enough sharks.
Hey Nick, you want to know what a movie's not good?
No,
Terminator.
Chase, what?
Oh,
what'd you say?
Said Terminator.
Oh,
Stop!
Oh,
Cut this
yeah.
off. Turn this off
I
now.
don't know. I think we should shun him. Shun him.
You kicked off the fucking show, man. I hope
That's
you
it,
know
dude.
this.
I heard that. So it's second environment. That's
This is so irate. I just kind of have to go off. Ugh.
wow.
wow.
All right, Matt. Well, I'll
Right.
see you at work next week, and
yeah. Yeah, dude.
Until we
And,
meet again, Matt.
Yeah, that was fun. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
likewise.
Yeah, let me know if I'd be more than interested if you guys want to reach out to me anytime you want me on. I'll be happy.
Sweet, bro.
Perfect.
And as for the audience, we will see you in the next podcast.
In 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.